Praveen Chaudhary, Managing Director at Kansai Nerolac Paints, joining us this morning. Thanks so much for taking the time, Mr. Chaudhary. And it behooves us. We have to ask this question at the start because there's so much that has occurred over the course of the last few hours as well. Crude oil prices, major input for you. What are the implications in the near term? Mr. Chaudhary, if you can hear.
Thank you for having me. So crude oil obviously So crude oil is very integrated with the paint industry, and likewise for Kansai also. But if you look at our past 2 decades or 3 decades of experience, we had many such events in the past also, and I think company could resiliently pull through that kind of event. Now, likewise here also we are watching situation very closely. Obviously, there'll be some implications as far as crude and their derivatives are concerned. But as far as we are concerned, we are well poised with our inventory levels and obviously supply capability. So in short term, I don't see any big problem. Of course, we'll have to be watchful in terms of the development that are taking place going forward.
Just a quick follow-up on that, Mr. Chaudhary. In the short term, of course, you're insulated, relatively speaking, I would assume, because of inventories, etc., as you pointed out. Is there the ability from both yourself as well as the industry to pass on increases in input prices? And is this normally something that takes place, or do you anticipate that there could be margin pressure?
So as far as if you look at the line of business, decorative business, obviously pass-through is possible, which is always done. In case of industrial, also pass-through happens now, but of course with slight lag, maybe a quarter or so. But pass-through definitely happens, and we're happy that all our relationships with the customer ensured that in both downward as well as upward cycles, I think we respect each other's sentiments towards pricing and profit margins, and I think that is honored.
Chaudhary, you have laid out a vision for a 200 basis point improvement in margins, and you recently had this investor analyst meet in Japan as well. Does that now seem a little more difficult with where the trajectory of crude prices is going? And are you also facing any kind of supply chain restriction because of what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, so it's too early actually. It's only 3 days, I would say, when these developments are now picking up to a level where we should be start thinking about it. But I think our past experience post-COVID actually has taught us lots in terms of how to deal with this logistic disruption for long term also. And we have built a lot of backup plans in terms of changing our sourcing strategies, and there are a lot of Indianization, localization that has also happened. So I'm confident we are far better prepared this time in terms of handling this. However, as things will develop, I'm sure we'll have to keep refining our strategy and try to meet our overall objectives that we've set.
But just on the point about supply chain restrictions that you see because of Strait of Hormuz, what is the dependency here? What is the exposure to the Gulf region for you and your business?
From Gulf, there's no direct exposure. I think it is mainly related to oil and the disruption that might get caused to derivatives, but there's no direct exposure as of now that we see from there.
Let's talk about the Nerofix merger. This approval has come through. What is the integration process? What are the timelines and what are the implications, Mr. Chaudhary?
Yeah, so Nerofix is a company we acquired 6 years back, and it's in the business of adhesives, both retail as well as industrial, and also construction chemical. And as far as timeline is concerned, we're anticipating it's about 6 to 9 months. I think it should take on a higher side. And the process, it has 2 plants, and obviously there'll be, because of this amalgamation, there'll be a lot of leveraging of fixed assets and fixed costs that can be done. And I think the biggest synergy, I would say, will be from the front of channel, because we have in the Nerolac, we have a wood coatings also, which obviously deals with the furniture making, and whereas Nerofix deal it from the adhesive side. So given our presence in decorative in the wood finish arena, where we deal with many architects, furniture makers, OEMs, I think that synergy should be quite a good fit. And also looking at industrial side, where we are anyway having larger than 50% exposure as a company, Nerolac company, there also I think we'll able to leverage our strength and channel partnerships to also push this industrial adhesives. And Nerofix has a fairly large industrial adhesive range also. So I think that will come handy in terms of leveraging it. Now, as far as this amalgamation logic is concerned, I think this is also part of range filling when it comes to my decorative business, because I think when we deal with carpenters for wood finish, I think there is also this backward possibility of having this getting pushed. So some bit of range completion exercise will also come, and a larger solutioning aspect, so that the one integrated player coming to market and trying to offer end-to-end solution. So I think that's the whole thought behind this. And over the, I think last year, Nerofix has performed very well. So I think that gives us confidence that there is further upward trajectory that is likely to be seen going forward.
Okay. Mr. Chaudhary, just trying to understand if there is now going to be a larger focus on industrials, or are you looking at autos? What is your top priority right now? Will it be decorative, industrials, auto? Where are you seeing the best margins and best opportunities?
Yeah. So, given that Nerolac already had a significant presence in auto and followed by industrial, and of course, decorative was always a large block, close to 50 to 55%. But given the current market dynamics and the way things are in decorative market, I think while we are trying to obviously protect our strongholds in the market where we are strong, and obviously protect our market share, but it is also important now that given the government push on the infrastructure side and amount of infrastructure spend happening, we are seeing phenomenal growth in the industrial area also. So auto will obviously continue to dominate. And if you look at auto also, all automakers are projecting they are doubling their capacity in the next 5 to 6 years, also backed by the great confidence of export that is happening out of India. So I think auto will be on its track where we are anyway number one. So I think that model we have perfected, we should be doing great there. But the third piece which now we are over indexing is on this industrial front, which is infrastructure related idea. Now, why that is also important? Because as premiumization is also happening there, where every client of ours asking for higher performance warranties, global technology is now coming in the play. And I think in India also there are fairly limited global players who can offer this global technology with approvals and specifications proven in the past. So I think that's the play we are sensing is going to be very interesting, and we'll be over indexing on those areas. And that is why third pillar of industrial, which consists of powder coating and performance coating, will be a large focus area for us.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chaudhary, for coming in today and answering all of our questions.